As most of you know, I was raised in an interfaith household. One set of grandparents were Jewish, one set were Christian, and my parents were humanists, and each of them an only child. So we, the grandkids, benefited. No matter how tough a year it was, my sisters and I had most of the holidays covered. We had an Easter egg hunt and Passover Seder and a Hanukkah menorah with chocolate gelt and wooden dreidels and a Christmas tree and lights in every window. And for many years, each of us was given our very own Advent calendar. Every year, they came in a variety of themes with different scenes behind each door, all clever and careful images of the holiday season. On Christmas, behind the biggest set of doors would be a picture of the Nativity or a giant tree or a beautiful angel. And we were carefully instructed to open one door each day. And when we got to the end, it would be Christmas. For many years, I thought that doing this made Christmas come on time. These calendars were sneakily instructive in the way of a lot of gifts. I learned to count and subtract the days and to mark the passage of time as if it mattered. I learned the patience to wait for something good to happen, but I also learned a sense of agency in doing something each and every day to bring myself closer to the good. I learned that waiting didn't have to be passive. Finding the image behind each door was a very small but pleasant way to start each day. I was that kind of kid. I loved the quiet discoveries and the accumulated expectation of goodwill. I loved figuring out how to make them myself. Advent is such an interesting word. As a noun, it means arrival, as in the arrival of someone or something that will change everything. It is a single event, but it does have a kind of built-in sense of process over time, something arriving. The Christian tradition is to anticipate the birth of Jesus with special observances over this set period of time between Advent and Christmas Eve. Advent is a liminal time, an in-between time, times when people and events are in the middle of a transition, in the middle of a process. We, during this time, are not all together living the lives that we had, and not all together living the lives that we will. We have left behind what was and have not yet arrived at what will be. Christians are very conscious of such times before the birth of Jesus, before the arrival of Christ in their lives, and before the end times with Christ's second coming. The traditional hymn for Christians during this period of Advent is O come, Emmanuel. The traditional lyrics of this hymn entreat Emmanuel to lead Hebrews and the rest of us to Christianity. Now, ironically, the name Emmanuel is a Hebrew name, and it means God is with us, or God is present. And my prayers in that direction are for me to know it. The Reverend Robin Bartlett once said, God is there when the lights go out offering presence, not protection, presence, not always illumination, presence, not punishment. Now, Unitarian Universalists may not share a single creed about what to believe, but we share a single conviction about how to be in the world. We share an understanding about what is important to our sense of wholeness and to the well-being of the life around us. Now, this notion of setting aside a time for liminality, for being in between what we were and what we might become, for being in the dark, waiting to emerge, waiting to be born. This idea is of amazing value. It's about possibilities. It's about being more connected, more compassionate. And what better time, better year than now, than this year, could we have to engage with this essential idea? This has been a year that has shaken us to the core. This has been a year of grief and doubt beyond measure that has tempered all joy and all satisfaction. This has been a year of the pandemic, of politics and political turmoil, or persistent distrust, and a great divide between those who don't have to be afraid and those who do. This has been a year when we ache for those among us, for everyone who has borne loss, who fear the future, whose days are of necessity stripped of magic and miracles. We grieve for those among us, for everyone whose arms ache to give reassurance and warmth. None of us is unaffected, no matter what we believe about the pandemic or about politics. Not one of us is going to say, no matter how much they want to, oh, 2020, that was a bad year. So much noise, so much conflict. But I hung out until the vaccine came along, so everything got back to normal. Glad that's behind me. You will never hear those words. This is a time of waiting like no other. We are waiting in the dark for the end of the unknown, to be able to move forward. We are waiting for a cure, the end of sacrifice. We are waiting to hug our loved ones, to be together again. We are waiting for the end of ignorance and denial, to be able to trust again. It's not so bad waiting in the dark, you know, it's a place to think. It's a place to reflect in peace. The dark is a place for hope to be born, for the light and the world and the wonder to be created. So I invite us, I invite you, let this be a season of discovery while we wait, while you wait. There is so much confusion and trauma in the world around us. We cannot live remotely. We cannot live remotely. So let us find something precious about our days, if only to mark each one as important. Let us do one thing and know that we can do one thing: to make room for the light. Let us open doors without numbers, open doors inside of us, doors to show that good is here, that love is here, that service is here, that strength is here, that compassion is here. Open those doors every day, and let there be Emmanuel.